The Braille Bites logo appears. There are two Braille letter B's, and animated bites are taken from two of the dots. Season 1, Episode 6, Early Tracking Stories.
Finally, I'm going to share a starting point for what many teachers of students with visual impairments refer to as tracking stories.
Adam stands in a kitchen wearing an apron with the Braille Bites logo. A large wooden cutting board and various craft supplies sit on the counter.
A tracking story is essentially a story created around a line of tactile material on a page. The learner follows the storyline with their fingertips on both hands. They start at the left side of the line and move to the right side, exploring the elements that they encounter along the way. I'll share an example. This tracking story features a small branch hot glued to the page.
The thin branch is about 30 centimeters long and is hot glued lengthwise to the middle of an 8.5 by 11 piece of Braille paper.
This branch represents a log. It is important that the branch is mostly straight and glued in a straight line across the page. Above and below the branch, small wooden beads are hot glued to the page. These beads represent frogs. I've also added a foam star as a starting point so that the learner knows where to begin. The corresponding tracking story asks the learner to find the frogs below and above the log. Here's how the story might go. We're going to visit a pond where some frogs live. There's a big log in the pond. Where do most frogs like to sit? On top of or under the log. Next, some key ingredients. To create your own tracking story, you'll need just a few key ingredients. First, you will need a sturdy piece of paper. Cardstock or Braille paper work very well. Second, you will need materials for a raised line. Here I have some pipe cleaners, some small wooden dowels, and some fabric puff paint as potential options for creating a raised line. Also consider using real materials connected to your story, like the branch in my story about the frogs on a log. Using real material helps to support your child's development of more complete and accurate conceptual understandings. Finally, you will need small objects as story characters. I used wooden beads to represent the frogs in the story.
Adam shows a bowl filled with wooden beads, which are various colors and about 2 centimeters in diameter.
Let's top off this recipe. As I mentioned, this is an introduction to the idea of tracking stories. This activity can be personalized to your child's interests and tactile exploration skills. This has been 3 recipes to promote tactile exploration and tactile discrimination. For a copy of these recipes and for more tracking story ideas, please see the description below.
Braille Bites is brought to you by Braille Literacy Canada and PRCVI. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss our next video about stringing beads to build fine motor and finger skills.